The man pictured here is Wayne Broadhurst. Who's Wayne Broadhurst? Wayne Broadhurst is the man who has been murdered at the hands of an illegal Afghan so-called asylum seeker in London on Monday as he intervened to try and prevent two other people being harmed and injured by this crazed savage. And he ended up dead himself. And as disgusting as this whole case is, almost as disgusting is the lack of condemnation, the lack of acknowledgement on behalf of the British government, because this case is heinous when you hear the details that I'm about to give you. This actually happened on Monday night, and almost nothing was reported anywhere until Tuesday. And then I did a report on this yesterday with the information that I had at the time. And since then, more information has been forthcoming. I'm just leaving that guy's picture up just to let you see the victim. Because when you read these stories, very often the attackers are given anonymity. You don't know what they look like. You're not even told their names. Just think about the case from last Monday in Saggart in Dublin, when another asylum seeker from the same neck of the woods attacked a young girl on the grounds of an asylum camp owned and ran by the Irish government. He also has been granted anonymity. We don't know what he looks like. We don't know his name because of the nature and type of the case. But in this case, this is the victim, Wayne Broadhurst. Neighbours with baseball bats saved another victim of the Afghan migrant Knifeman in Uxbridge triple stabbing. I'll just summarise this for you here, and then I'll go into the details. This Afghan came to Britain illegally years ago, and we were told that he wasn't part of a dinghy crossing, that he came illegally on the back of a lorry. You see, this whole business about stop the boats is a distraction. The boats are only part of the problem. These dinghies are only part of the problem. Britain's being swamped by illegals coming in from every direction. This one came in on the back of a lorry illegally, but he wasn't staying in any government hotel or government sponsored accommodation. No. Where was he staying? This 22-year-old Afghan illegal immigrant. He was staying with a family, it would appear, even though it's claimed he had psychotic tendencies. And the man who received life-changing injuries at his hands and the 14-year-old boy apparently were sharing a house with this guy. He chased them out of the house after an argument. And this guy, Wayne Broadhurst, happened to be walking his dog, saw what was going on, tried to intervene, and he's now dead as a result of it. This is absolutely an abomination. It should not be allowed to let slip. Neighbours with baseball bats saved the other victim. A group of heroic neighbours saved the life of a man who was stabbed in an attack by an Afghan national. So actually, there could have been multiple casualties here. Well, there was multiple casualties, multiple people injured, but it could have been much worse still. Excuse me. The 45-year-old man suffered life-changing injuries, but might have died had he not been protected by the group. Probably would have. Thing is, the man should never have been here in the first place. He should never have been allowed to enter the country, and he should never have been allowed to remain. This dead man's blood is on the hands of the British government, first and foremost. The same way as the blood of any victims in Ireland are on the hands of the Irish government. If the men are coming into this country, or women, or teenagers, or young people coming in illegally seeking asylum, are allowed to remain and not deported immediately. If anything happens, it's on the government's hands. The 22-year-old Afghan national entered the UK in a lorry in 2020, so he's been here for 5 years plus. He's being questioned by police over the assaults in Uxbridge, West London. The attacker wounded a 45-year-old man who suffered life-changing injuries. What that means is anybody's guess. It must be really bad if they're described as that by the national press. And his 14-year-old son as he chased them from their home. This Afghan was staying with this man and his son, and apparently has a wife and a daughter who, thank God, weren't in the house at the time. The hell are people thinking? And to think that the governments have been pushing, oh, open up your doors, let strangers in from all over the world, virtue signal harder, wave your flags, post on social media. We'll pay you good money for that. And then something like this happens. Wayne Broadhurst, the 49-year-old dog walker, died during the attack. The Afghan remains unnamed. Unnamed. I wonder what his name was. Anybody got any guesses? Can you guess what his name might have been? It's a random one, I know. It's a shot in the dark, really, isn't it? I wonder. They're holding him in suspicion of murder and attempted murder. They chased him through the street and tasered him when he repeatedly ignored their orders. He had just attacked 3 people. He was in a residential street. He was holding a blade. He was capable of murder, and they shouted at him, ignored orders to drop, so they tasered him. I'm thinking there's other ways he could have been incapacitated. What do you think? Now he's being treated. He was treated in hospital to make sure he was okay. And now he's being treated at the taxpayer's expense. And then he'll be jailed if he does go to jail. Illegal. The Sun newspaper reported that he was known to mental health services. Really? And police believe he may have carried out the attack during a psychotic episode. Then what was he doing living with a family? If that's true, what was he doing living with a family in a residential area? Did the family know that? According to residents, a fight broke out involving the Afghan, who was a lodger in the home of the 45-year-old. A lodger. The 22-year-old chased 2 victims out of the house before the dog walker was attacked. A woman who lives next to the scene said a teenage boy knocked on the door asking for help. When her husband opened the door, 4 or 5 residents from a house opposite emerged with baseball bats to protect the injured man. Again, it could have been more than one dead. Could have been multiple deaths here. Very easily. Tahira Hassan said the injured person was sitting in front of their house. They had bats. There were 4 or 5 people. They protected him. The 45-year-old has a wife, a son, and a daughter. Mrs. Hassan in her 40s added, so that house that the lodger was in, there was 2 girls, a woman and a daughter there, plus the man and his son, and they're taking in this guy. She said she thought the wife and daughter might have been out at the time, or it could have been again worse, again and again and again. Here we have the picture of shouts, get on the floor, drop your weapon. I know one way the taxpayers' money would have been saved there. Massive saving to the taxpayer, and a guarantee that this man would never have reoffended. The suspect was tasered before falling to the ground. Home Office officials confirmed he arrived in Britain illegally. Confirmed. So again, for any of you left-wing loons out there, demented people, explain to me below why this is a good thing and why Britain needs this, or Ireland needs this, or any other country needs this. He was granted leave to remain 2 years ago. So he came in 2020 illegally, and he was granted leave to remain even though he was illegal. This man's blood is on the hands of the British government. The incident is not being treated as terrorism, but police are working to uncover any relationship between the suspect and the 3 victims. Well, he was living with 2 of them. Doesn't take much detective work, does it? Unless, of course, they came over and they were related. Who knows? I don't know, because it hasn't given any of the details. It's told us who the deceased is, but we haven't got any details of the other man and his son. They're holding that back. Maybe we'll find that out tomorrow. Footage posted online appears to show 2 police officers sprinting after the suspect. The man, he drops the weapon and gets on the floor. There you go. So again, absolutely scandalous that this has been allowed to happen, and it has been allowed to happen on British soil, Irish soil, French soil, Swedish soil, Belgian soil, Danish soil, German soil, Spanish soil, Italian soil. That's the man, Wayne Broadhurst. Anyway, leave me your thoughts and comments below. Share this video. Let people know the disgusting cover-up that's going on around this case, and the lack of acknowledgement as to even the fact that it happened by the so-called government. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so, and hit the notification bell. That'll keep you up to date whenever I upload my videos, which is every day, pretty much, except the Sunday. So you've never a lack of anything to be perusing over. If you've got nothing better to do, you can sit and watch my videos. But for now, anyway, I'm Rick Munn. This is No Risk, No Reward Media, over and out.